A week later, the twins thought they were going for their regular trim, but as they entered the barber shop, something felt different. Their mother spoke to the barber with an unusual seriousness. "We're going for something different today," she said calmly. The girls, confused, looked at her. "Different? What do you mean?" One of them asked, a hint of nervousness in her voice. "I've decided we're all going to get shaved heads," their mother announced, her tone leaving no room for argument. "What?" Emma, 16 years old, gasped, her hand instinctively reaching for her short hair. "You can't be serious." The other twins' eyes widened. "Mom, we just got used to the pixie cuts." "Why are we doing this?" Their mother remained firm. "It's time for a bigger change," she said, turning to the barber. "Please shave their heads completely." The girls were stunned, their protests falling on deaf ears. They could barely comprehend what was happening as the barber picked up the clippers. "I can't believe this," one of the twins whispered, feeling helpless as she was guided into the chair. As the clippers roared to life and touched her scalp, tears welled up in her eyes. She couldn't hold them back any longer, and the first tear slipped down her cheek. "Mom, please, don't make us do this," she cried, her voice shaking. Her mother stood firm, watching as the first pass of the clippers sent strands of hair tumbling to the floor. "This is happening, girls," she said, her tone softer but still resolute. "It's for your own good." The second twin, Emma, 16 years old, watched in horror from her seat, tears already streaming down her face. "Mom, I don't want to be bald," she sobbed, clutching the arms of her chair as if she could stop what was coming. But their mother wasn't swayed. "You'll understand one day," she said, crossing her arms. "Right now you just need to trust me." The first twin continued to cry quietly as her hair disappeared, the buzzing of the clippers drowning out her sobs. When the barber finished, her once short pixie cut was completely gone, replaced by smooth, bare skin. Next, the barber called, signaling for Emma to take her place. Shaking with fear, Emma reluctantly sat in the chair, the tears falling faster now. "Please, Mom, don't make me bald," she begged one last time, her voice barely audible through her sobs. Her mother simply shook her head. "It's already decided." The clippers once again buzzed to life, and Emma squeezed her eyes shut as they touched her head. She could feel her hair being stripped away, the cool air hitting her exposed scalp. The sobs became heavier as her reflection slowly transformed. By the time the barber finished and applied the shaving cream to her head, Emma could barely recognize herself. Her once beautiful hair was completely gone, her scalp smooth and shiny. She touched her head in disbelief, tears still flowing as she turned to look at her sister, who was already bald. Finally, the barber turned to their mother. "Now it's your turn," he said with a nod. Without hesitation, their mother sat in the chair. Unlike her daughters, she showed no signs of fear or regret. The clippers buzzed over her head swiftly, and within moments she too was bald. The shaving cream was applied, and soon her head was as smooth as her daughter's. As they left the barber shop, the two girls were in tears, sobbing uncontrollably. Their hands repeatedly touched their smooth scalps, still in disbelief over what had just happened. "Mom, how could you do this to us?" one of the twins cried, her voice breaking as she struggled to stop the tears. "It's not fair." The other twin, Emma, 16 years old, added through her sobs, her voice filled with frustration. "We didn't want to be bald." Their mother remained calm, her voice steady. "You'll thank me for this one day," she said, walking ahead without looking back. "Sometimes the hardest decisions are the right ones. But we don't want this." Emma cried louder, her tears streaming down her face. "We look terrible." Their mother stopped in her tracks, turning to face her daughters. "Enough," she said firmly. her voice leaving no room for argument. This isn't about what you want right now, this is about learning discipline and accepting change. The girls continued to cry, but their mother remained resolute. You'll get used to it, she added, her tone softening slightly. And like the barber said, we're going back twice a week to maintain it. The words hit the girls hard, their tears flowing even more. They wanted to argue, to beg her to stop, but deep down they knew there was no point. Their mother had made up her mind and there was no changing it. The walk home was filled with sobs and silence, the girls mourning the loss of their hair, while their mother stayed strong, leading them forward without a second glance. When they finally arrived home, the girls rushed to their room, still sniffling, desperately trying to hide their shaved heads from the world. Their mother, however, followed them in, her face still stern. Enough crying, she said firmly. Standing in the doorway, it's done. This is how things are going to be from now on. One of the twins looked up, her eyes red and swollen. But Mom, why? Why did you do this to us? She asked, her voice shaking with emotion. Their mother crossed her arms. Because you need discipline. You weren't listening. And you weren't taking responsibility for yourselves. Sometimes the only way to learn is through hard lessons. The second twin, Emma, 16 years old, wiped her face, still holding on to a thread of hope. But we'll do better, we promise. Please, just let us grow our hair back. Their mother's expression softened for a brief moment, but she quickly shook her head. This is how it's going to be for a while. You'll both get used to it. And once I see that you've truly changed, we'll talk about what happens next. But we hate it. One of them shouted, frustration boiling over. You've taken away everything. I've taken away nothing. Their mother interrupted, her tone cold and final. Hair grows back. What I'm teaching you now will stay with you forever. And we'll be going back to the barber twice a week, just like he said. The room fell silent again, the weight of her words sinking in. The girls, feeling defeated, had no more energy to fight. Now, wash up and get ready for dinner, their mother ordered. And no more crying. This is part of your lives now. She turned and left the room, leaving the twins sitting on their beds, staring at the floor, their hands still running over their freshly shaved heads.